Good morning, patrons, subscribers. I was looking at some charts just now, and dollar yen might be a good long. We have to remember where the yen bubble is, and it's in the strong sell section on our bubble chart. So really, this can probably come up a little bit. So you could look for a long above monthly pivot. However, the risk to reward wouldn't be that great because you're looking at 54 pips, but with a 47 pip stop loss. So your stop would be there, but ideally what happened is that we get probed first. So you wouldn't enter, you'd wait for that to be probed, and then that's condition one satisfied. If it does get probed and that gets smaller, then you're looking look for longs, but then your stop would be where they had their stops. Okay, so in the future. So we're looking like forward, we're forward looking into like looking at a setup. So you wouldn't enter now at market, you're looking for a long above monthly pivot and your daily open as well. So because it's a poor risk to reward, we won't look at it, but it could be a good long because you've got SLC and ATR target confluence. So that is going to be a good resistance. So one to maybe monitor. So your monthly pivot is 133.45. Okay, so it could be a good long. Above that, rear target SLC, ATR target combination. However, that stop loss cluster would have to get probed first. Okay, so this is something to just keep an eye on. Let's look at we'll just look at some random things, see if we can spot anything. Can't guarantee there's going to be any setups. And so yeah, so if we were to buy above monthly pivot, that's kind of like job done from the stop loss cluster perspective. If anything, this is going to be a decent resistance because you've got the double confluence. I could delete these old setups. So yeah, you'd be wanting to look for longs above monthly pivot, but you're going to hit into a brick wall in those stops. So it might just want to grab that potentially, this one up here. Yeah, so it's only 23 pips. So nothing there. If anything, that's going to hit that, then it's going to do this. Okay, so bit tricky. EU. And look at, oh, okay, weekly open. Nothing there though, is there? We're slap bang in the middle of the SLCs. So yeah, it's not a good trade, is it? There's 23 pips to there, 23 pips there. We're basically weekly open. There's a halfway point between the SLCs. Nothing there. If anything, it's going to come up there first, and we might even come down to the one below because the CPI, isn't it? Tomorrow. GU, I think we're going to probe the stop loss cluster above because I just made a video for FX to SI, and it's to do with the point of equilibrium. So we're interested in the halfway point between the SLCs, and we're trying to get them to write an indicator. So it tells us the halfway point between those two values. And if we're above the halfway point, then we're going to target the SLC. So it's a good idea. It's a good concept. Me and Mr. Bosch, you know, we discovered. And we sort of thrashed out this idea. I think it's a good idea. So hopefully you understand what I mean. I put a request in a support ticket so we can have an indication where the halfway point is between those two values. And if we're above, then we're likely going to target the one above. If we're below, we're probably going to target the one below. It's just a simple little symbol here. It will just sit on your chart like a triangle, and then that'll give us like a visual reference where the stop loss clusters are and the midpoint. So I think potentially up here, but really there isn't anything really to be traded off there. It's just got the weekly open. So yeah, you could look for a sell, but where would you have your stop? You could have a stop here, but you can see how they're selling it over time. So it's quite bullish. So, you know, you want to be careful. Nothing there, but just a little heads up about the support ticket that we've raised with FX as a SI. I don't know if we're going to get any setups, are we? Dollar CAD. Maybe an old setup there which you can delete. Oh yeah, we never did get filled. It was an order to buy. We didn't get filled, so that's fine. Yes, there's not much here, is there? It might want to get the stop loss cluster below. See how they moved their stops lower? So that could be a scenario where you're looking to buy, but where do you put your stop? You know, you could put your stop there potentially, but that's wide, very wide. So you'd want to be getting closer to the ATR high or low, and you'd want to have the liquidity be probed first as well. Dollar Swiss maybe. We can look at gold actually. Oops, that's gone a bit weird. Dollar Swiss, where they've gone long, so obviously we're falling. Weekly open could be a good trade to target SLC below, but where would you have your stop? So let's look at gold, because I think we might have a setup on it, and because FXCM was a buy, so we could look for something like this. We could use the 200 MA as a stop loss. It could be like a dynamic stop, couldn't it? Insert indicators, no, Fibonacci. I changed the color scheme to white because I made that video for FX SSI. Just bear with me. I did it on a black background, so it needed to be white. So you could theoretically have something like this. Even there, you could even have a test a weekly open. So what are we looking at? It's a $5 stop. When you're looking for a retest of the weekly open, normally a good level. You could have a $5 stop at the dynamic fluctuation stop loss. And then, you know, we can target the stop loss cluster above, and that's a 4R. So this is what we'll do. This is going to be our medium-term trade idea. That might take a little while to, you know, to come about, to realize, you know, to get to our entry. I'm sort of loath to enter at market, because if we enter at a designated level, we've got our stop in place, and you know we've got our reward as well, which is a 4R reward, exactly the SLC. So that is spooky. Oh, they moved their stops lower. Oh, that's annoying. So yeah, we'll still go with it. They might move their stops higher, but we don't really know for sure. It's all very quite erratic, the herd, sometimes. When the humans get together, it's a little bit of chaos. Ideally, that we didn't want them to do that. We want them to move their stops higher, ideally. So we'll go with this. I'll publish this now, and then I'll wrap up. So we'll no trade of day tomorrow. There isn't anything that we spotted on the currencies, but I think gold could be good because we had the agreement on FXCM as well, and it's looking quite good. You know, the profitable traders are long. They're selling it. They've done money. So and we know that the COT data was positive as well. So we might not get filled, but it's one of those things. If we don't, it's fine. And I'll speak to you guys later.